So the trailer opens giving us some kind of green dot that transforms into this blue portal. As you guys know, we already have two portals in the game, the nether portal and the end portal. This is completely different. My guess is that this is going to be transferring them from the real world into the game. Which takes us into our next shot, where we have a massive arch. The entire world looks extremely blocky. It's more of a realistic texture pack. You have a castle up on the top left, pretty basic. You got some animals down to the left. And honestly, I don't think the world building looks that terrible. Now, following up, we see 4 characters enter through a portal. Now, they are real human beings and not animated characters. Minecraft did let us know it was going to be a live-action movie. There is 2 adults and 2 children. I'm glad they represented the Minecraft community very accurately on how we dress. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan on how Jason Momoa is dressed up, but I'm sure it's going to contribute to his character in some way and be a bit and funny and later on in the film. Which takes us to our next scene. Probably the most controversial statement or thing that I've seen coming through the Minecraft community right now is the pink sheep. I personally am not actually super upset about this. I think it's intentionally supposed to be ugly. If you look at the 4 characters when they react, she obviously is like, what in the heck is going on here?
What the hell?
And the other 4 are just absolutely appalled and disgusted by the way this thing looks. I don't think it's terrible. At the end, I'll tell you why. This is actually where I think the trailer gets really good, and you see a bunch of zombie piglin supporting gas in like kind of a hot air balloon style ride. And I really like the way they look, actually. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's a reference actually to Captain Sparkle's video, which is super interesting, thinking that they're going to be adding, you know, funny things throughout the movie that actually reference to content creators, which I'm hoping this movie is full of. Coming up next is actually my favorite shot, and it's this wolf howling at the moon, which I think is probably the best animated character as far as this trailer goes, that I personally think that they probably did right. Going into the next shot, we see a crafting table where I think who it is, the young kid, is putting together a recipe where it's involving iron and sticks. My guess is to the left, that was just stuff that he found in his pockets. You see a battery, which is kind of weird. You would think a gamer would actually have double A's because he plays on a controller. I don't know why he has this battery or an eraser, and it kind of looks like chewing gum. It doesn't really make sense to me. As well as in the background, it looks like we get a blast furnace and a regular furnace. This next scene probably gives us some of the most as far as feel and how blocks are going to look in this movie goes, because you can see it looks like a diamond sword on the left wall followed by an iron or a stone sword. I personally don't like the way that these swords look. I think they should have just kept the traditional Minecraft style look. Also in the back you can see a ender chest sitting on one of the, it looks like a shelf. Next to it you can see the painting Wanderer, some TNT on the top shelf, and firework rockets on the bottom right. But my least favorite block of this entire scene is definitely going to be the torch, because the torch does not look like a Minecraft torch at all. I expected a little more from them. In this next shot, we see our 4 characters running underneath one of the arches in the castle that we saw at the beginning of the trailer. In the background, you can see a village, I'm assuming. Some of the buildings look like village buildings. Other ones don't really. The pastures and corrals don't look like they're official Minecraft villages, but you can see what looks like villagers walking around on the paths down there, or at least that's what I'm assuming they are, since they're kind of floating and walking like a villager does. Next, they're showing a pretty awesome bit, which I think that they're going to utilize in the movie quite a bit, and this is everyone's first reaction, I believe, because this is how blocks work. You can just place them with nothing underneath them, and they'll just float in the sky without any support, unless it's a falling block like sand or gravel. They also show us what blocks are going to look like when they're broken, which means these people might have inventories. I'm not sure how they're going to make that work, but basically, when you break a block, they form into a smaller form of a block that you can pick up and collect and put into your inventory and use later and place somewhere else. Now, this next shot is actually one of my favorite shots in the trailer. As you can see, it's a bunch of zombie piglin, and they're riding in some basically like a main street of some village. This is also, I think, the best argument for their animation style because of the sheer amount of emotion that they're able to portray through their characters. It's really hard to portray a lot of emotion through an animated Minecraft character. They don't have any facial expressions. Now, I'm guessing this piglin in the front is the leader since he's holding up a gold sword. The other piglins in the back only have iron swords, which technically isn't lore accurate. They think they can only hold gold swords. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't matter as long as it's, used to represent an idea. I don't really care, so. If you look in the background, you have 2 signs, one that says Steve's Lava Kitchen, and then also one that says The Exploding Pig. This is obviously a reference to Minecraft's main character, Steve, if you guys don't know, which is the default skin you spawn in the game with. The next thing is definitely my favorite scene, which is a creeper walking up behind Jason Momoa's character, and this needs to be a reference to Captain Sparkles, and if this man does not say, "Oh man," from the Revenge YouTube video, I'm going to be severely disappointed. If not, I'm going to cheer and clap in the theater because I'm a nerd. In this next scene, we get what looks like our first images of the nether. Now, I'm guessing that this is a bastion within the nether, which is a place where zombie piglins live. In the background, we have something with purple eyes. I'm guessing that's either an enderman. I do not think it's the ender dragon. It's too small, and there's ender dragon isn't in the nether anyways, but I'm 90% sure this is the nether.
Who are you?
I am Steve.
All right, the next shot is Jack Black coming in as Steve. He comes in through this fire behind him. That's not in the game. You don't just randomly teleport or he spawn through fire. There isn't any really backstory to Steve or any character development that we have to really lock onto. So it's really just Jack Black in a blue t-shirt. He's not going to be playing a character. He's just going to be trying to create this character called Steve that everyone really plays as. The most interesting in this trailer is definitely that object that Jason Momoa has in his hands. I have no idea what the blue glowing orb is. It's not in canon yet, I don't think. Unless it's in Legends, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
This guy is such a tool bag.
And then, yeah, obviously you get this little one-liner joke, which is intended to be a pun based on the tools you carry around in Minecraft. I thought it was a little funny. I hope this movie is full of humor. And then you go into the final scene, which is a llama chewing, and as an arrow misses him and a horde of zombie piglin just run in front of him. I think it's funny how they chose to portray the sheep and the llama because they should be the stupidest looking animals. I think the intended purpose is comedy. Now I'm going to give my personal opinion on it. I think that this movie has actually a very serious potential to be very, very, very good. They just have to be able to utilize humor and Minecraft and put them together very well. They have the characters to do it. I think Jason Momoa is a phenomenal actor. I think Jack Black is a phenomenal actor. I'm not aware of who these other characters are. I think it goes two ways. It's either going to end up like the Monster Hunter movie, which was completely atrocious, or it's going to end up like Mario or the Lego movie. Even though the Lego movie isn't necessarily a video game movie, the creators were aware of the sandbox capabilities and the open worldness to what you can accomplish with Legos and the imagination that you can accomplish with Legos. I'm personally excited. I'm going to go see it. Going into this, you have to understand that Minecraft has been alive since 2012, so if they can balance the comedy of children and kind of a mixture of adult humor, kind of how DreamWorks does, then I'd actually be a very big fan of this film. I have some nitpicks with the animation, but I'm not going to let that ruin my experience of the actual full-length film. I'm excited. I'm going to go see it. I have high hopes for it, but I'll review it when it's all done. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.